Hi, this is Dave Hurwitz here to talk about Mozart's Divertimento Kochel 563, also known as the String Trio in E-flat major. This is incomparably the greatest string trio ever written by anybody. It has 6 movements, which is why it's called a divertimento, including 2 minuets, an andante with variations in between, and lovely allegros on either side. I mean, it's really an absolutely astonishing piece of music. This is the recording that I want to consider, Trio Zimmerman on the BIS label. Now, I originally reviewed this for ClassicsToday.com about 10 years ago, but I always like to come back to recordings that I reviewed, especially ones I liked, to see if they held up, to see if I felt confident in my initial assessment of them. And this one certainly has. Everything changes over time. Our opinions change, the circumstance in which we listen to music change, our mood changes, and of course more recordings of the same repertoire are always coming out. So the game of comparisons never ends. But here's a recording that has really withstood so far the test of time. And so I'd like to recommend it to you all over again. Now, the Mozart K563 it's just one of those pieces. It's got to be one of Mozart's greatest chamber works, which means it's one of the greatest chamber works, period. One of the things about Mozart is that he was such a genius that whenever he set himself a challenge, you know that the result is going to just be not just successful, but, a monument to human culture, basically. And, writing a 47-minute string trio that doesn't have a single dull note in it is really one of those things that Mozart accomplished, with such ease and such grace and poetry and dash, and it's wonderful. Listening to the first movement, the second subject of the first movement has a tune that sounds suspiciously like Hot Time in the Old Town Tonight, and the finale begins with a rondo tune that is astonishingly similar to I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Here, listen to this. Now, obviously, Mozart was not watching cartoons on Sunday mornings like the rest of us probably did. But, the guy had the gift. The tunes are astonishingly beautiful throughout the work. Now, there is a reference recording, which I compare most new versions to. That's this one with the Grumio Trio. It comes in a box with the string quintets, and that's a set that's also well worth having. But, I have to say, it's just so refreshing to hear modern recordings that are just fabulous. And in the chamber music world today, I mean, let's face it, the standards of performance are so high. They really are. I mean, you've got these talented people. But when you have 3 fabulously trained, great musicians taking on a major challenge, which this work really is, like Trio Zimmerman doing the Mozart K563, and it has a coupling. You get the Schubert string trio in B flat, which is a perfect coupling. You have a disc absolutely for the ages. And so I can't recommend it highly enough. And if you don't know this work, it sort of flies a little bit under the radar. Mozart fans know it well, but the rest of the world thinks, oh God, a 50-minute string trio or a divertimento, something light and fluffy and not very consequential. Both of those are it's a complete mistake to misjudge the piece and to underrate its quality. Mozart never wrote anything greater, which means there is nothing in music that is greater. So do give it a shot. Keep on listening, folks. Thank you so much, and all the best.